A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house.
Alright. This is what remains of Edith Finch. I was not expecting it to start immediately, so welcome.
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
I don't really know what I'm doing.
I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral. In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know, or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
Seems like there's two pathways here. I'm gonna take this one. There's a lot of buttons for you to zoom in this game, which is weird. I'm not used to that.
No one had driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints.
It's really interesting so far. Oh, look, a deer.
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to. The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
This is an interesting house. It's giving a Hello Neighbor.
As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words.
Missing papers over the house is kind of weird.
Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
Is it quite an unsettling house anyway?
I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't.
How do I...
Looking
There we
in,
go.
I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me. Great-Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house. Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit.
This is a maximalist house, I feel like.
A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night. My mom wasn't much of an optimist, but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive.
I wonder what's up about this door.
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated
Sealed?
and drilled peepholes. I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up. Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
Oh.
Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
It's weird, I'm not used to these mechanics at all. It's an interesting story, though.
From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me.
I'm
Reading
curious
this,
what happened
maybe
to them
it
all.
sounds like I had a plan, but I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat.
Got a fish. That's still there. Don't really want to eat that.
My Halloween candy was all gone. I kept eating and eating.
Wait, no, I did not want to eat that. Alright.
I ate a lot of things that night. Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her.
No.
And suddenly, I was a cat.
No, get back in the house. No.
I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared. I jumped and I almost got her. I could tell she was getting really tired.
Oh, she's over there. I got distracted by the table.
Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up.
Oh, jeez.
Suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass. Rabbits.
Interesting.
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed
is
him up,
creepy.
and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger.
For a child, this is kind of scary.
A mama rabbit. She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating.
Oh, jeez.
And suddenly, I was a shark. I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever.
Let's hit the car.
I wanted fat, juicy seals. I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good. Grabbed on tight. But I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
Am I? Alright, I was not supposed to aim for that, okay. Oh, I'm not gonna move.
Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere. I was big. but I moved real quiet.
Jeez.
I wanted to stop, but also I didn't. Not very comforting. After the last passenger, I was still hungry. And across the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I
We're
slithered
still
onto the
seeing the
sand,
monster.
and the good smell went into an old pipe. I got closer and closer.
Oh, jeez.
All my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
Huh.
I got the sense Edie had spent a lot of time here before my mom sealed the doors.
Where with the cat? I did leave you here.
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room. Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him.
So those paintings are of the family
The
members who
room is
died.
like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot
There we
waves
go.
off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery.
Interesting.
His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
So Edie must be the grandma. To this character at least. So Edie, yeah. Odin. How do I exit this? There we go.
Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways. Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious.
It's
I
fine.
hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time.
They have a date memorial for when it was built.
One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity.
It's cute.
When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't.
Well, if he died by a
Even in her 90s,
dragon, then
sometimes
she did.
Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
Carpet, bathroom.
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife, Kay, left on the house was the pink bathroom. It was a pretty big trace.
Yeah.
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
So interesting. Well, a weird looking house that's full of a bunch of stuff. I guess it would have a bunch of.
Sven gave Sam
Hidden
an old camera
compartments,
he'd
huh?
refurbished. He never put it down.
And this is probably used as a red room, huh? To develop photos. Milton. Fort Calvin. All the photos. Just a staircase up to what? Jump on the bed. It's cute.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin. And that he never talked about him. I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom, and he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again, and he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
This is a story about how everyone died.
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it.
Stories are sad.
I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that.
Calvin, I'm not gonna tell you again.
Maybe
It's
if the wind hadn't
crazy,
picked up,
but
then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind.
it's actually crazy.
That's what I want to remember about my brother.
This is rough. Oh, see you later.
The day he made up his mind to fly. And he
The
did
day
it.
he made up his mind to fly, and
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
he did. Calvin.
After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room.
So Edie's a great
Mom said
grandma?
Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
As much as I'd love to continue, I need to stop here. So I'll definitely pick this back up. Right here.